Hello everybody, it's a beautiful day in Rust, and I thought it was about time we talked about sprinklers. I know a lot of people think they're complicated and just as soon throw water on a plant. It's not, and there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of misinformation and incorrect stuff going on, particularly in how they work with planter boxes. It's a complicated situation, but I'm going to do my best to clear things up for you. So I'm again out here at my water test base, and let's start with the most basic item. There's your sprinkler. Level 1 workbench 5 high qual, easy to make. They're very, very flexible. They can be put almost anywhere. On the ground, on the floors, at angles, on the edges. You can see I have it on the slope of the stairs here, on the roof. You hook it up to water, and the sprinklers go on. Pretty straightforward. Each sprinkler uses 2 water. We can see we have 12 coming out, 12 going into this guy. He peels off 2. Next guy has 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 until we get to 0. These last 2 don't have enough water. These 6 work. So 1 water barrel with a 12 output, or one of these with a 12 output, or one of these with a 12 output. All will run a maximum of 6 sprinklers. Let's turn this off. I'm getting wet. So that's pretty straightforward. Now things get a little weird. So I have a planter box, have a sprinkler. I have one mounted on the roof, one on the side, one on the floor. If I turn it on, I can watch, and I get 15 water, 15 mil every 5 seconds. 15, 30, 45. If I put it on the sidewall, which gives me more control over which planter boxes and such are getting the water, again, 15, 30, 45. And even if it's sitting on the floor, almost invisible, 15, 30, 45. So, sounds normal, right? Nothing weird. Well, there actually is something kind of weird. This sprinkler is getting 2 mil per second. 15 every 5 seconds is 3 milliliters. Through the magic of Rust, the water is multiplied, and your planter, a single planter, is getting 3 mil of water every second. That's pretty cool. However, it's not that simple. I have a roof and a wall sprinkler. These are bone dry, no water. turn on the water, and I put a wall here so we don't get splashed over into the other side. And this box gets 7, and this box gets 7. Well, 7 and 7 is not 15. And you don't get like an extra 1 every now and then. No, it's a straight 7. So a single planter is getting 180 mil per minute of water. 2 planters are getting 168 milliliters per minute. 7 per planter every 5 seconds. And you'll see it just keeps going up. We're at 70. So there's a loss of water. It's still more than the 2 milliliters per second it should be giving, but it's not as much as in a single planter. And if we use the other one, we'll see 105, 112. It works exactly the same, 7 milliliters per second each planter. And there's some logic to this. 15 does not divide evenly by 2. Turn him off, turn him off. So 15 divided by 2, 7.5, you're getting 7. There's no rounding. So with 4 planter boxes, what do we think we're going to get? We get 3. 3 every 5 seconds. 3, 6, 9. So, further loss. Now we're talking 3, 6, 9, 12 instead of the 15 over here or 14 here. So when you use a sprinkler on 4 planter boxes, your yield is much less water. Doesn't change what the plants need or how they're getting them or whatever, but that's how much water you're supplying with 4 planter boxes. Now, I have for a long time been telling people to use 3. And the reason is 1 sprinkler provides almost exactly the water needs of 1 large planter or 3 large planters planted completely full. So if we put 9 plants in here and we put 1 sprinkler overhead, and somewhere I've lost my sprinkler. Okay. Luckily, they're pretty easy to hook up. So, 3 planter boxes, 1 sprinkler, and we're going to get 5 per planter box. 5, 10, 15, 20. What you see is that is the same optimum performance as if you had 1 planter box. Whereas 2 gives you less and 4 gives you much less, 3 gets you all that water, basically 3 output after giving 2 input. And if these plants were full of planters were full of plants, what we'd find is at an average of 5 milliliters per second, they use the water just a little bit slower than we can refill it. So if we put 5,000 milliliters in here, plant it up, put that on, come back 2 hours later, we're going to have 5,400. We won't have lost any water. We'll actually gain some. And you don't have to continuously, take a jerry can and fill this guy back up. So here we found out 3 is the ideal number to use when possible. And it doesn't matter what the layout is. I can do a T formation, and I will see I get 5, 10, 15. And I can even put all 3 in a row. Make sure I haven't mysteriously lost another sprinkler. 5, 10, 15. So in very large farms, the most efficient way is to make rows of 3 separated by walls. And you won't waste water. And if you put the lights every 2, you're getting the most efficient water, light, and power you can. Now, if we come over here, we have some setups of 4, which is very common. Again, bone dry, empty. A low wall does just as good a job as a high wall in stopping spray over when it's minimal, like this. If this guy is offset some, if I put him, just a little bit to the left, this planter box will get water, this one won't. So there is the risk of splash. But again, let's talk about what these are getting. 4 planters, 3 per planter box, 27, 30, 33. If we put 2 sprinklers as close to the middle as we can, notice we're getting a little splash. None here, some here. And we're getting 3 per planter every 5 seconds. But with the splash, we're basically getting some free watering. Now, 2 sprinklers deliver a lot more water than 4 planters need. And you should be putting them on a timer to avoid oversaturation. 1 delivers just a little bit less than what 4 planters need. But that's workable. If you have 4 planters and you saturate them to the maximum that the plants like, around 6,500, and you run 1 sprinkler for the 2 hours it takes them to grow and become harvestable or become ripe, about 1.5 hours for fruiting, 2 hours for ripeness. When you're done, you will have lost, depending on the plants and how many there are and how long you wait, somewhere between 1,200 and 1,500 water. And your plants will still be in the 100% happy condition if you started at a high point, say over 6,000. Anything over 6,000, when you come back, they'll start at 100% and still be at 100%. That's with one sprinkler. With two sprinklers, you put them both so they both run about 20 to 25 seconds. Maybe 20 seconds is better, out of a minute. And you will not lose any water saturation. Which, of course, makes me ask, why do so many videos and so many people who talk about this recommend 3 sprinklers for 4 planter boxes? It is way, way overkill. You can't run them for more than 14, 15 seconds out of a minute without oversaturating your plants. So under no circumstances do you need 3. The question should be, is it 1 or 2? And if we look and we check the planter boxes, we'll see that you get 3 per planter with 1, you get 6 with 2, and you'll get 9 per planter box with 3. So I had to wonder. I was doing this and looking at the numbers, and I was thinking, I wonder if 1 sprinkler, how it will perform with 6 planter boxes. And what you end up getting is 2. And you know, that's the same as if you had 4 planter boxes. You get the same type of performance. And that is not enough water to maintain the saturation level unless you are growing without your boxes full. If you are only planting 4 in the corners because you want to get good genetics, this will actually give you enough water for all 6 planter boxes with plants only planted in the corners. And you will lose a little water saturation over time, but just like with the 1 for 4, you know, you can keep them 100% happy. So in summary, best performance is going to be 3, 1 sprinkler. You're going to get the most water out of your sprinkler. The most popular setup of 4 large planter boxes. You're best off using 2 sprinklers with about 20 to 22 seconds per minute and maintaining full saturation, or 1 sprinkler for 4 boxes, and after each harvest having to throw a couple of jerry cans of water in it to bring it back up from 4,500 to 6,250 or whatever. And that's what I have on sprinklers. Hope you learned something new. Have a great day. Bye-bye.